4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Point of View. I'm your host, DDE80, a.k.a. Mike D, a.k.a. 13th Wonder of the World, a.k.a. Mike DZ. Happy Saturday to everybody out here in Radio Land. God bless you. God keep you. First of all, that's what I want to say. And second of all, I want to say happy holidays to everybody. We're like only 4 days away from Christmas. Remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. But it's also going to be good to be around family and friends as well. We know that the cities are going to be full of people from out of town come and visit and everything. Just make sure that everybody's safe. Just pray that everybody be safe and sound where they can go back to their families and you know, be thankful for what they have going on. And those that are busting their chops trying to make ends meet for last Christmas gifts, God bless you as well. Get it how you can, and always fight to live. Like I said, you gotta fight to live these days, man. Survive. You gotta fight to survive, man. But with God, all things are possible. Shout out to the big man in the sky as well. Shout out to the Point Place family, Bobby Reeves, and of course, love you, brother. Happy holidays to all my label mates that's a part of the Point Place family, from Boski to that dude to Wendy Sky to all of everybody that's a part of the family as well. I'm on the sports side, they're on the music side, but I remember back in the day I was on the music side, so I'm gonna try to get back on the music side in 2025 and start being featured more in all these guys' music. I'm gonna make that happen, man, where I can put my vocals down and help some of my label mates out, man, with their music, man, because we're out here to help one another, man. We're not here to hurt. The point don't hurt. Maybe, you know, we might disagree about it. Maybe it's okay to disagree, but just don't let the disagreement turn into a big blowout. And that's what we don't never want to do. That's how I am with my brother, you know what I'm saying, and my sister. And shout out to my sister, I love her. Shout out to my baby niece as well as M Breezy. You know, friends gonna have disagreements, man. But you know, at the end of the day, man, we not gonna fest on it. We gonna keep on rolling with it, man. Try to get ourselves together, man. You know, life too short for that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? The way I thought when I was in my 20s and my 30s, I can't think that way now in my 40s, man. You know, don't let nobody play at your top. Now, I'm not telling you just let somebody just play at your top, but I'm telling you though, have a better way of thinking about it, man. You know, it's certain things you gotta fight for, and certain things you just gotta let slide, man. And I know it's hard to let stuff slide at times, but it's more easier to let it slide than to just fight all the time, man. So that's the common goal that we trying to, you know, accomplish. Well, I'm trying to accomplish as well as my boys, because I know that my boys, some of my boys don't think like that. You know, some of them, you know, they have their different opinion on things, and I respect them. I love all my boys. I love all my label mates, man. I love all my friends, man. The ones that I have that are close, and the ones that I have that are far off, because I have some far off friends, man, you know. But I'm here to just encourage, you know, let us just be, you know, good, man. Like the Bible say, peace on earth and goodwill towards men, you know what I'm saying? And not just doing it because of the holidays, man, but do it because that makes your character just a little bit stronger, man. You know, if I can help people, I would help them. But you see, here's the deal. A lot of people you help, they still try to get over on you, man. That ain't the way that I rock, man. I don't rock like that. I don't like rocking like that, and I won't rock like that. So it is what it is, folks. That's just a side note, sidebar, you know. Let's just be better, man. Let's just be better people in life, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. My cousin called me yesterday, and this is before I get into the meat and potatoes of the point of view. My cousin called me yesterday, man, yesterday morning. Shout out to DE, man, from the PAT. He called me yesterday and told me that my other cousin, which is his sister, lost her husband, man. My condolences goes to them, man. He was on the forklift, and the forklift took him out. And he had been driving the forklift for a long time. I don't know what happened. But I just want to give condolences to my baby cousin, as well as my cousin-in-law, which passed, and his family as well, his kids and everything. I just want to let y'all know that we're praying for y'all to get strength in the body, as well as strength in the mind. You're never gonna, probably get over what happened with your pops, but always know that God is there to just help you maintain through it. That's just my thoughts on that. My prayers are with you guys. Also, one of my friends, she lost her mom as well. I pray that God give her strength in the time of bereavement. I'm just praying that everybody, God bless you all through these times. I know it's going to be hard to have the holidays, Christmas and New Year's without them, but just, keep your hand in God's hand. Everything's going to be all right. All right. First thing, today, Saturday, wow. The NFL's on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. We got two great games, Steelers and Ravens, which is going to be the second game. But the first game is going to be C.J. Stroud versus Patrick Mahomes. Man, many weapons on both sides of the field, man. This is going to be interesting here to see, can the Texans pull up the upset over the defending champion, Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs? Can C.J. Stroud outplay Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead? And the answer to that question is, he could. The other answer to that question is, I don't know. And the other answer to that question is, watch out for the penalties. Watch out for the salty plays. Because I'm telling you right now, Patrick Mahomes gets that Aaron Rodgers, that Drew Brees, and that Tom Brady role in football, man. Yeah. I'm just saying, man. It's just me talking. I know nobody wants to hear it, but this is me talking. I'm being honest about what I'm saying right now. This is exactly what happens in the game of football. But he has some weapons, man. Patrick Mahomes has weapons. He's got Kelsey Pachero. He's got of course he's got what's the other guy name? The other Hollywood Brown's not playing, but Hopkins, yeah, and guys like that out there to play on the side. And of course you got guys on the other side, Dell, and C.J. Stroud's going to be able to throw the ball to, Dalton Schultz is out there as well. He's got some weapons as well for the Houston Texans to make some noise. Now, the way that they're going to have to pressure Patrick Mahomes. Now, I will say this, and I want people to understand why I'm saying this. The Cleveland Browns, even though they played like poop, they were able to get to Mahomes at times. The Texans can get to Mahomes. If they can rush him a lot, blitz him a lot, then they can get him. But Patrick Mahomes can run the ball as well too. So that's not even a problem there. Carson Steele as well. He's also a guy out there that can do something for him as well. But I'm just looking at the bigger picture in this game, and I think the Chiefs will probably win this game over the Texans. But the Texans need to win this game to prove to everybody that they have a legitimate chance, because I think they will probably be one of the 4 teams that plays to go to the Super Bowl. That's just my thoughts on it. I said that. I said it's going to be down to the Chiefs, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Texans. But I forgot about the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. They're playing absolutely great ball, and they're going to be in the second game as well, because it's going to be Russ going up against Lamar. You got Najee Harris versus Derrick Henry, who I think Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley has played great on the running game this year. It's going to be a toss-up to see which one of these guys be one of the running back of the year. I think you go with right now, Saquon Barkley has got a little edge to me over Derrick Henry, but I think it would be great if they both were co-rushers, co-running backs of the year, because both of them are playing great. They have their teams deep in the playoffs right now, so we'll see what happens with that as well. Also, we have some college games on today. I think that the start of the college playoffs start today. I think it started last night, but I think it start back up again today. Interesting as well. College basketball, of course, today. NBA playing tonight. LeBron and the Lakers go up against the Sacramento Kings in a rematch from the other night. The Lakers beat the Kings Thursday night, on their floor. Great game. Anthony Davis was like 20 and 20 on points and rebounds. LeBron had like 19, but I think it was Austin Reeves that had the bulk of the plays as well. The Kings are a good team when they can get themselves together. I think they will be a great contending team with Fox, DeRozan, and Sabonis, who is a triple-double machine at times and stuff like that. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that rematch. But let me go back before I go to the next segue. Let me go back to what I was talking about with the Steelers and the Ravens. This win right here will probably solidify who's going to be the top team that hosts a playoff game, and the other is probably going to be a wild card. I think Baltimore needs to win this game against Pittsburgh to at least try to stay in the lane, stay in the mix of having that chance of being in the playoffs, instead of having a wild card, hosting a playoff game, conference game. My book is on the Baltimore Ravens today. I think the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win their games today. These are some great games. We're getting close to the end of the NFL season. Could possibly almost at that move, where the NFL's about to wind down, and we're going to see what happens next in this mix as well as we get ready for the postseason of the NFL. We're already seeing the postseason of college football. Man, very interesting. Some good stuff going on there as well, ladies and gentlemen. I like what I'm seeing. I think the college playoff 12-team eliminator is absolutely great to decide who's going to play for the championship as well. So we'll see what happens. I think Georgia plays today as well. I don't think they're going to have their quarterback, so they got to figure out a way to maintain if their quarterback's not going to play. And it's going to be interesting to see who does what. And let me go back to something, man. I want to talk about something that I was very, very, very shocked at the other night. The Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors. For the first time for the first time that I remember this, I want to say this. Steph Curry only had 2 points in a game. Steph Curry was cold as ice in that game against the Memphis Grizzlies. They were blew out. I think they were blew out before halftime, if I'm not mistaken. I think this reminds me of when the Warriors got beat by 50 points to the Memphis Grizzlies, in the playoffs about 2 years ago when they won the championship. When they got thumped like that in Memphis. I think Steph will come back tonight and play better. I think they play Minnesota tonight, so it's going to be Steph versus the Ant-Man. I think they're going to play a little better. The Ant-Man's cursing out his team, saying they ain't got nothing on offense. And he is not happy with how the way that Minnesota's playing right now. And if you guys remember, Minnesota is supposed to be one of the contenders that plays for a title. Cat went in there and destroyed his team. They couldn't stop him. Great football game the other night as well, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Denver and the Chargers, they played absolutely great. Sutton played great. Man, you had McClunkey played great as a rookie. Man, I'm just. Augustus Steen did what he needed to do. I'm just telling you guys, man. Absolutely great, man. Great stuff from the NFL, man. Those Thursday night games be awesome. They used to be poop at times, but now all of a sudden, these games are competitive on Thursday, Sunday as well, Monday as well, but Thursday, those games are hot. Wow. But yeah. And with that being said, I'll be right back in a few minutes. Yo, welcome back to The Point of View. I'm still your host, DDE80, aka Mike D, aka 13th Wonder of the World, aka Mike DZ. Man, I'm back. I was talking about, football, basketball as well. Let's get into some wrestling. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, AEW / Ring of Honor had their pay-per-view last night, and I know that Brian Cage was on Rampage with the Ring of Honor television title. Well, he's no longer the champion. Atlantis Jr. won that title, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what the blog said. If he did, congratulations to him for being the Ring of Honor television champion. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask, why did Brian Cage lose? Well, guess what? It's not about him right now. That's why they put the belt on Atlantis Jr. See, AEW Ring of Honor, man, it's kind of crazy how the way that they try their booking. Their booking is totally different than WWE. You know what I'm saying? And let me say this. And I will give them credit for one thing that they've done since they've been on the air. They did the main thing that a lot of people thought that was going to happen. When Sting wrestled in his last match in AEW, a lot of people thought that Sting was going to lose the titles. Him and Darby were going to lose tag team titles to the Young Bucks. They let Sting retire undefeated. That was absolutely the best decision that AEW ever made. Tony Khan made that decision, and it was the best decision for the people because they did not want to see Sting lose and then like that. See, that's if he was in WWE, Sting would have lost it. If he would have still been wrestling, he would have lost his last match, just like they did the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. The only person they did not do that to was Edge or Trish. But Trish Stratus came back to wrestle. But Edge, when Edge retired the first time, Edge retired as the World Heavyweight Champion. He was forced out of the business because of the injury. When Edge came back for that 3-year run he did, Guess what happened with Edge? His last match on SmackDown against Sheamus, he won that match. That was his last match in WWE. So WWE did great by him by letting him go out on top as a winner. I don't know if they're going to do that with John Cena. I would love to see them try to do that with John Cena. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes, but I'm just talking about in the business of wrestling, about what happens and things like that. So Chris Jericho, 9 times out of 10, he won. He still is the Ring of Honor champion, which I know that he is. So the next question is, who is he going to fight that's going to take the belt off him? Because Ring of Honor right now has Chris Jericho as one of the top guys in the company, and he still is. He's getting that Ric Flair rub. After 50 years old, he's still winning titles. Chris Jericho has won this year, I think this is one of his best years this year, because he's won a title. He won the F the World title, which was Taz's belt. He won that title. Then he turned around and become the Ring of Honor champion. So they still see value in Jericho. Great value in Jericho, man. And that's just me being as honest as I could be about that. Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, college football playoff is starting off right now. We have the kickoff of the games, and I think the first game, which is on TNT, I think it's going to be Penn State versus, who is Penn State playing in this thing? Penn State against SMU. So that's the first game that you're going to see. You're going to see Penn State versus SMU early, 10 o'clock game. Wow. Unless they're just doing the talk. Yeah, I think they're just doing the talk right now. I think the game's probably going to come on in the next hour, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. So if I am, forgive me. But this is the college playoffs, man. Getting it started, baby. But back to wrestling. Yeah, AEW has a pay-per-view coming up next week. We're going to see a lot of great matches. We're going to see MJF against Adam Cole. It's a shame what they did to Ricochet. Ricochet thought he had a shot at being in the Hurt Syndicate, and he didn't. Very, very, very disgusting move by the company for them to do that to him and make him feel less than what he is, man. And I just can't believe that they would do that to a guy like Ricochet. Just took him off the Ricochet like he didn't matter. Oh man, now they got him, gotta do what he gotta do, man, to survive. I think they're trying to make him out to be like a heelish Ricochet or something like that. I don't know, but I watched it and I was like, of course, Max, like I said, Max and Adam Cole in a match. You're possibly going to see a fatal 4-way where you're going to see Jon Moxley defending the AEW title against Jay White, Hangman Adam Page, and OC Orange Cassidy. It'll be a shocker if Orange Cassidy becomes the champion, man. That would be fitting for the business if he can pull off the upset and beat a great champion like Jon Moxley of the Death Riders as well. The Continental Classic is going to be interesting. My thoughts on this is this. I think, and I want people to understand why I'm saying this. It looks like Kyle Fletcher is going to be the champion. Darby Allin could be the guy to win this, but I'm thinking that it could possibly be Kyle Fletcher. I don't think Will Ospreay is going to win. They've cooled their jets on him a little bit, Will Ospreay. I think that Ospreay's probably not going to win. I think Darby could be one to win, but I think Kyle Fletcher will probably be the man of this situation. Daniel Garcia, man, looks like he's going to be in a storyline against Shelton Benjamin. I would love to see Shelton Benjamin become the TNT champion. And I know that they re-signed Danny Garcia for a long rip, but I would love to see Shelton get a title back in his career. So that's interesting to see. I think Bobby and Swerve are still going to go at it. Mariah May is possibly going to get back in a storyline with Toni Storm. I think that's going to happen. We're also going to see, it looks like it's shaping up to be a great pay-per-view for right now, man. So tonight, they're going to be live with Collision. So we'll see what happens with them tonight on Collision as they get ready to put forth their best show since they had to compete with college football in the playoffs. And I'll be right back to talk about WWE. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. It's your boy DE80 back with the point of view. When I left for commercial break, I went to go I was talking about AEW, but now I'm back to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, talk about WWE just for a second. We see now that Naomi and Bianca are the tag team champions. I still don't know who did what to to Jade. It's going to be a possibility. It probably going to be Naomi. They think Naomi is the one that did it. They could say it's Bayley probably did it. Who knows? It could be. It's out of one of those three. I think, and Bianca as well could be the one that took out Jade Cargill. Let's talk about that for a minute. Dark Side. Who wants to see Bianca a heel? Everybody loves her. Do you think she's going to get that type of attention if she becomes heel? Yes. People are still going to want to see her. People are still going to want to see her get in there and do what she does, even as a heel. Also, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about something else on wrestling as well. The Intercontinental Women's title, which is going to be interesting. There's a possibility that Lyra Valkyrie could be the one to become the first women's Intercontinental champion. Now that Natalya is possibly going to be out of the mix and Io Sky is going to be in there. It would be interesting to see if it becomes Dakota Kai versus Io Sky, which I think could possibly happen. Or you could see Lyra Valkyrie against Dakota Kai. Tongue twist, excuse me. I still believe that those are the two women that could possibly become the first ever Intercontinental Women's Champion. Now, switching gears, talk about SmackDown. Man, again, the new bloodline are just running over people. LA Knight Shinsuke Nakamura. LA Knight his jets have been cooled. It's time to build LA Knight back up and put the United States title back on him. I think that's what they're going to do. I think him and Shinsuke Nakamura will probably fight at the Royal Rumble, or they'll probably fight at the season premiere of 3 Hour SmackDown when Raw hits Netflix at the beginning of January. You've got to have, if you're going to have a 3 Hour SmackDown, 3 hour show in SmackDown, you have got to put up some great quality matches so that everybody can watch it. And for the first time in 25, 26 years, WWE SmackDown will be going 3 hours. So that means that Raw is going to be 3 hours as well as SmackDown is going to be 3 hours. So you're going to be watching 8 hours of wrestling. Adding the 2 hours with NXT, because remember, NXT cannot go past 9 o'clock Central Time here in the South, because the news comes on right after SmackDown goes off the air on NXT, goes off the air on C-Dub. So you cannot override 1 minute of that, or the CW networks are going to be in trouble because of the override. Can't do it. Unless it's a game or something. Can't do it. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, the first C-Dub show was a banger. The season premiere of Raw earlier this year was a banger. You have got to put on some big matches at that 3-hour trend of SmackDown when it comes 3 hours on USA. And I think you should go with Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight for the United States title. I think Shinsuke Nakamura should have the belt for at least a month, and then you put the title back on LA Knight. What happens next? This is the thing. Will 2025 be the year that LA Knight becomes a major player in the WWE? That's the question that I want to know, and that's the question that everybody else needs to know. And let me tell you this, in this transfer trade that they're doing, there are going to be champions, and I want people to understand what I'm saying. There's going to be champions that end up switching shows with the titles. So you may see the United States champion going to Raw and the Intercontinental champion going to SmackDown. And guess who that is? Right now, that's Shinsuke Nakamura and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker would fit the bill on SmackDown. Man, nobody wouldn't be able to touch him on SmackDown. It'll freshen him up, give him fresh rivalries, give him things like that that can make something happen for him. That's just the way that the game goes, and that's just the way the game is right now in professional wrestling, especially with them doing the transfer trades and things like that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, there's talks that some NXT wrestlers are going to be leaving to go to the main roster. So what happens after the night after WrestleMania? Do they do another draft after WrestleMania? I don't think so. I don't think you do it right now and then turn around and do it after WrestleMania unless you just need ratings. That's just the thing about it. So we'll see what happens with this situation going on with 3 hours. But like I said, LA Knight needs a refresher. He needs to go somewhere else. He needs to be coming to Raw and making his name a little better on the Raw roster, on the Red brand, getting that Netflix money. Oh man. Also, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about something else on there that's also needs to be talked about. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. I don't think that's over with. I think you either go with Cody versus Kevin for the world title at the premiere of the 3-hour SmackDown, or you wait till the Royal Rumble. That's the thing you got to do. You got to think about it. Looks like we're going to see Logan Paul against Gunther soon. That's happening. And so, you know, the wrestling is interesting right now. I'm glad that they did not just can the women's tag team titles. I'm glad they didn't do that, because the 5 belts that they have, they need them. The women's they don't need to take away no belts from the women's. They don't need to take the women's tag team titles. They don't need to do that. You did the smart thing by making these other titles, with Chelsea Green being the first women's United States champion. Now, she's going to have some contenders. Misha might want a shot at her. Bayley, of course, want a shot at her. Whoever her first defense is, she should win that. But I don't think she's going to have a one championship defense. I don't think she's going to have the title for past 2 months. Now, if they just put her on a long reign, then that'll be great for her, because people will stop looking at her as a synthetic person or a synthetic character for sympathy, they would, give her the respect and the flowers that she deserves, because she does deserve it. And Piper Niven might be one of those contenders. Piper Niven might turn on Chelsea Green after a while. So that's interesting to see. But if Charlotte Flair comes back and goes to SmackDown, then Charlotte Flair is probably going to be in the loop to fight for the United States title. And what a way for her to solidify her destiny and to solidify her career by putting the United States women's title on Charlotte Flair. That means, therefore, she can make the unders better by challenging them and having them challenge her. And I think that's the role that John Cena had 10 years ago when he became the United States champion for the last time. He was doing the Cena Invitational, and nobody couldn't really touch Cena, man, in that thing, man. Cena had a long run as the United States champion, man. A long run. I think he had like a 6-7 month run in his last rip as the U.S. champion. And so they made him. The game comes on in another hour, folks. So, you can, enjoy yourself, get your spreads together. I don't mean to stop talking about wrestling for a minute, but I'm just getting everybody a shot of something, and I'm just telling them, yo, whatever y'all betting y'all spreads on, go ahead and do it, man, because you got 53 minutes before the game comes on, college football playoff game between SMU and Penn State. But back to what I was saying. John Cena had a long run as the United States champion in his last run. I think if you want to do that with Chelsea, I think you can. I think Chelsea does deserve to have a long run. I think she's just a synthetic sympathy type character, and I think that's what they're gonna do to just give her the title, probably take it off of her. I hope they don't. At least let her get at least 2 months with it before you take it off of her. A great accomplishment by her. Great move by her as well. WWE trusted her to put the title on her. And also, before I cut off, I want to give another shout out to Travis Hunter for winning the Heisman of the Year from Colorado. Congratulations to Travis Hunter. Great accomplishment, great achievement. He deserved it. He played absolutely great this year. And that is my segue on that. We're not going to talk about the bloodline, the OG bloodline as well. We know Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso probably going to fight against each other. So we'll see what happens with that as well. I think Drew McIntyre probably will become a SmackDown star because he's on there a lot, as well as Carmelo and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman lost by countout last night, but I think it's not over with. It's not over with between him and Melo. I think they're going to have another match. They need to figure out what they're going to do with Melo, because he needs to be in some type of contention for something. Tag team or something, man. As well, Alex Shelley lost to Johnny Gargano. Everybody sees now that the luster has already been taken off of the Motors Machine Guns. Those guys came in with a bang, and now they're losing. They've lost for the last 2 weeks they've been in the ring. And this is what WWE does. WWE does not care if you're here being one of the most biggest stars in another company. When you come there, you're just on the totem pole. If you don't believe me, look at what they did to Bill Goldberg. Goldberg, at first when he was in WWE, he was unstoppable. He was beating everybody until he got into that elimination chamber against Triple H and lost. That was the end of it. That was the end of the Goldberg ride. Asuka was the only one. Her and Gunther were the only ones that had long runs in the WWE, and then all of a sudden they just got cool. And what happens after you lose? What are you going to do after you lose? Are you going to keep, complain about it or get back in the mix. That's what you got to do. Get back in the mix. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this week, point of view. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday is Christmas. I don't think we're going to do a point of view on Christmas. I may do a point of view on Christmas where I just go over the games and stuff like that. On vacation at the job. So one day I'm going to post a semi-cast, whether it's audio or video, with my man DJ Fadeaway, man. Yeah, me and him are gonna get on here. I'm gonna ask him some questions. I'm gonna ask him questions about the NBA as well as professional wrestling. And me and him are gonna chop it up like we used to back in the day when we were just talking on the phone for hours and hours about stupid stuff and about, basketball and things like that. Fadeaway's a good dude, guys. One of my closest buddies, man. One of my closest family members. Me and him are tight like that. I talk to him on a daily basis. I always text him on a daily basis to check on him, make sure he's good. That's my boy. I always tell everybody that's gonna be my boy until God calls us home. And he is one of my closest buddies, man. I got a few close buddies, man. Of course, B.Ray, Bobby Reezy, one of my closest friends. My boy, Big Slate, that's my other closest homie. That's like my right-hand man right there. And of course, Fadeaway is my left-hand man, as well, because he's always there as well. Only a few of those guys that I have that's close to me, but my cousin, D's also close to me as well. And I don't forget about my other boys like Pretty Boy Slate and all those other boys, man. I don't forget about them as well. Those are my other closest homeboys, as well as my boy the Gooster. That's also my other close homeboy. And of course my brother Kendo, man. I love him to death as well as my sister and everybody else. But those are my closest homies. And of course, my lady friend as well. God bless her and God keep her. She's sweet to me, very sweet to me as well. And I appreciate her so much. Well, with all of that there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to yield. I hope you guys enjoy the NBA, enjoy college basketball as well as college football playoff, as well as AEW Collision tonight. You guys enjoy your holidays, enjoy your weekends, be safe, be great. Always tell somebody you appreciate them. And not only that, let's remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. God bless, God keep. I'm out.